Welcome back to part 2 of this marathon Warwick Farm card tomorrow, where I expect the scratchings to be quite light, simply because horses have not had an opportunity for a run and may be worried with further weather beyond next weekend when their next run will be. So race 6 is the second half of this 1300 metre benchmark 71 for the males, and $2.70 Nothing Box, $5.50 Jemadar, $7 La Cavalier, $9.50 Valiant Mate, $9 Fortune Patch, $12 Pro Ann. I must say, Gord, I thought that Waller's dual acceptors were allocated the wrong races. I mean, I thought the 1400 was better for Nothing Box race 9 and the 1600 was better for Mortar Platoon race 10. So he's elected to go the other way, and I'm not happy. As far as the speed is concerned, it's Valiant Mate with Hieronymus and certainly Fortune Patch, who made all to win over 1300. That was his latest win. Set Piece can poke up fresh. Be Like Dad can poke up fresh. And Nothing Box was hustled out of the gates the other day, sooled around to lead, but from gate 1 I can't necessarily see him leading. What do you want to do with this favourite?
Well, I don't want to back it, but it clearly has to be the top selection, doesn't it?
It was very impressive.
Yeah.
It was very impressive from the front. But I've seen it win at a mile at Kembla. Sorry, I asked you to speak, and now I'm doing all the talking.
It's all right.
Away you go.
No, you go for it, because I don't have much of an opinion in this race. So.
Yeah, look, he broke his mile. He had a perfect run to win over a mile at Kembla, and sorry, that was 1400 at Kembla, and then resumed at 1400 at Rose Hill. Now comes back to 1300 from gate 1, second up at Warwick Farm. Jemadar has had one preparation and did good things in his 2 city runs, and Fortune Patch, I know he was in the best ground at Canterbury, but this is his patch. He spread eagle to field over 1300 here in the winter.
Well, what are we doing? The one I was sort of mildly against was number 1 Jemadar, but it is lightly raced, fresh from the right stable, isn't it? But I can't have it. It's done nothing in its 2 trials, and I thought the form round at last preparation wasn't the flashiest either.
It wasn't. So, okay, at those prices, who are you backing? I'm going to force you to have a bet in this race.
I'm going to hope Nothing Box blows and have something on it. Because
I said at these prices, you're being cute.
Yeah, I am. I'm being a politician, Mark. Seriously, that's the only horse I could entertain.
You spend bloody 36 hours in Canberra and you come back talking like this.
Yes, that's true, isn't it? It's good. But, I mean, this is what people should want to know. The only horse I'm interested in backing in this race is Nothing Box. Am I willing to take that price? No, I'm not. I'm hoping the inside is off and there's an overreaction from the market because it's from barrier 1.
Yep, of course. Makes perfect sense. Good suggestion. Race 7. Now we're in with the fillies and mares, again over the 1300. $2.90 Gretna, $4.80 Cottage, $10 Anisha, $10 Japan, $10 Modar, $11 Fantasize, $15 Express Point, $21 Mary Orr. Good old Cottage returns for you here, Gord, but more importantly, $2.90 off a PR the other day, Gretna. What do you want to do with it?
I want to not engage in it at all. It was the first one I put my pen through, thinking that it was going to take up too much of the market and provide me value on a few other chances in the race. What I ended up finding off that particular initial thought gives me reason to doubt as well. You know, I'd love to see.
So you're going, okay, here's one to oppose, and then you're going through the others and going, shit.
So what I did come back to was, guess what, Mark? Number 2, Cottage. I was super impressed with its first run last preparation. I thought it had springboarded off that, and it didn't its next start when I made it a special.
Went up to 1500 and notably it came back to 1400 and now it resumes at 1300.
Yeah, which I think is fine because it's had the 3 trials. So it's had the 807, it's had the 105 where they actually see, okay, this horse is back now, and then just had the run around in the 900 metres to get it right for this particular race.
So why 3 trials, do you think? Why does it need 3 trials?
Well, what's going on with O'Shea these days? Does he know what's going on?
Well, maybe not.
Maybe not.
look, maybe he had another race in mind for it, and it didn't work out, and so he's just kept it ticking over.
Yeah, well, so I'm going to end up backing this horse because, you know, after its win at Wyong last preparation, I thought that was a sign this is a horse with a bit of ability. I know the form round it isn't crash hot, but I mean, it's a horse I found early last preparation. It had 3 starts for 2 wins, and it was one that I spotted that might have a bit of style and ability. It's not proven that yet, but hopefully my suspicions are right, and so I have number 2, Cottage on top, but then we have old mate Chapanda, and it actually has the Brenton Abdullah booking.
That's right, and Chapanda, its run can be overlooked. In fact, it needed to come back to Sydney and do something, and run in a race, and it was horribly unsuited in that particular race.
Yeah, and it, I mean, you know, comes out of group racing last preparation.
Yeah, that's enough. That's enough. Where's Cezanne? Cottage, I'm there with you. Cottage.
Group 1 place, mate.
Anisha is a 1300 metre winner at this track who was unsuited by a slowly run 1600s, had a break since, and gets Josh Parr. So I thought she could do something here. That's race 7.
There's a roughie with a chance as well, number 9, Fantasise. For a Snowden trial, it was quite nice.
Race 8, 1200 metres for 3-year-olds. This is there's 15 at the moment. Favourite is actually hard to find. It's Pedway, would you believe, off a 1,000 metre win at Hawkesbury, $6.50. $7 Coco Excel, who's trialled since she didn't get to the turn at Randwick. $9 I Thought So, $11 Aquatic, $10 Rosa Carolina, I missed there. 13 Terminally Pretty, 14 Bravissimo, 15 Tyrone Miss, 17 the top 3, and $21 Lady Dane. It's a thick race, and it looks a fast race, and the speed is predominantly from Coco Excel, who I think would be best advised to take it up. I think Pedway takes a sit, stepping up in distance. Lady Dane beyond speed. Diddums from the deep, who is, of course, an easy winner at this course and distance when given complete control one day. Ozark can be on speed as well. All in Rhythm, not so much back in distance. I Thought So is an on-pace runner. And Rosa Carolina won't be too far away from gate 1. Where do you land, or do you want to bracket here? What do you want to do?
I just reckon it's an absolutely magnificent race. So there's some horses here that I think might have a bit of ability, and seems some strange prices that we actually put up as well. I'm not going to talk about those because I need to actually make some money in some way, shape or form. But
so you're having this race off, eh? You want me to turn your mic off for this race?
No, but I will talk about the horse I clearly have on top and definitely will be backing. And that's number 8, Coco Excel. I'm going to follow the Glenn Pollock method of form analysis and say if you get done by 20 lengths last start, then forget you went around. Obviously, the stewards reported that there were reasons for this particular failure, and since then it's had the trial, and that trial was dynamic yet again. I know this horse is a good trialer and it does it all the time, so maybe that's, you know what I mean, I'm looking for change sometimes. But
well, back to Warwick Farm, back to Wet. I think that's... but look, there's a run there where Walk Right In is right up her bottom, and I had to spend a long time getting rid of Walk Right In. That suspenders race, I know you were cranky with the way it was ridden on that occasion, and I'm looking more. I look at that race with Walk Right In hard in the finish there. I'm wondering.
Well, see, I know you suggested that Coco Excel should lead. I actually don't want it to lead. I think he's got plenty of options from barrier 6.
Well, he could smother. She just doesn't need to be exposed like she was the other day.
I think she's a far better horse, not exposed like that as well. I'm going to forgive that 20 lengths last start. Jesus, why?
Well, you don't even need to mention it.
Is it contagious, but am I starting to catch Glenn's disease?
What's the difference? What's the difference if a horse gets beaten 6 lengths or 20 lengths? Like, once you get beaten more than 3 lengths, surely you just weren't competitive.
You know, the form lines around Coco Excel have been solid. I've always had an opinion of the particular horse, and I think it actually sets up quite well there. I just think Blake Shen has so many options from barrier 6. I'd prefer if he didn't lead, but yet again, man, like, geez, there's some good horses. There's some promising horses. There's some promising horses in this race that I really aren't. I'm not sure how to line up. I mean, why is Bravissimo so long?
Well, I suppose he was long the other day. He's actually the same price as he was when he won an 1100 metre half, like
You see
third.
You know, you see Smart Amelia
Smart
come out
Amelia.
of Canberra and just smash them.
Smash what? Smash the
Some
4-year-old
mag-
mare. Please.
It was dominant and a good bet at 6-4, I must say. And what are we making of I Thought So?
I thought it was a legless win the other day.
I thought...
Big hello to, by the way, Phil Gibb, who is the owner of Perfect Rhyme. Very excited. They got a win at Hawkesbury the other day. Gord, you liked it the other day. And I think they're thinking about running her in the Keith Nolan. But a fan of the show, Phil Gibb.
And Phil Gibb, thank you very much for Perfect Rhyme at Hawkesbury on Thursday. It was a magnificent result. I love it when something I like blows because I just keep on betting. Yeah, no, fan of Coco Excel. And by the way, another one that I'm going to back is number 14, Tyrone Miss. What did you say about it?
She's a filly with style. Now she hasn't been to town yet. She's off a break. She's had a trial. She's unfortunately got Corey Brown, but she's got that sprint. She's got that turn of foot.
She's got that turn of foot. She's got barrier 12. She's had the freshen up in the trial. She's with a great stable. I mean, probably the only reason. See, it's weird, isn't it? Because I found Shin on Coco XL.
Yeah.
And is that because Shin can't ride it 54?
Oh, you are, yeah. No, maybe not. Maybe not. Yeah, look, I wouldn't read too much into the riders. Certainly, I'm there with you, Tyrone Miss, Bravissimo certainly, and the other one I'm going to mention is Diddums, who at $21 at the scene of her crime seems excessive.
See, Tyrone Miss, what, $15 did you say?
Yeah.
No, I mean that's just a bet. Yeah.
Race 9, the penultimate, smallish field, $4.40 the long-time resumer Stampede, $6 more to Platoon, $6 Monogram, who's also first up, $7 He's a Given, $8 Steel Frost, and if anyone wants to sponsor the wine on this show, you're more than welcome. $15 Elysian, $16 Kelvinside, $18 Alventura.
Your glass is over there, Mark. But,
That's right.
You know,
Yeah,
you've got a reputation to
No,
uphold.
I'm mic'd up and I can't get to it. As far as the speed in this race is concerned, it's...
We have spectators
right,
tonight, people.
It's Stampede along the inside. He's a Given. Took it up the other day. Carluca will be on speed, especially a bit fresh. And Steel Frost with the blinkers on, out of the Goulburn Country Championship race, is heading forward from a wide gate. I'm getting teased now. Can you see anything in this?
I can see absolutely nothing in it. The only one I was interested in, because you know I'm a big fan on lightly raced with good win percentages, was number 5 Stampede.
So it doesn't matter that it's had 5 years off?
I'm actually against it.
Right.
Because if you notice, anybody, you know, you can all jump onto Racing New South Wales and have a look at the trials. When it went to Wyong over the 1200. So as soon as I saw that it had, you know, the 2 trials over the 1200 metres, I thought, oh, they're really setting this horse up. And then I noticed that this Nuffy was taking ground off it.
At Wyong?
It ended up coming 4th in the trial, the horse, but it's got no ability at all. And it was taking ground off Stampede and was well past it, past the post. And I thought, wow, that's not a good sign. But this is a rather weak race, Mark.
Well, look, more to Platoon was ridden sort of upside down first up, and then won his race at Newcastle on over a mile, but comes back to 1400 metres. He was a horse of interest to me. He's a Given is a perennial. He's a winner here 2 starts back in soft ground. And Carluca with Glenn Schofield on will just be there. Kelvinside has a very good record at Warwick Farm. Our Ventura has reasonable city runs. And then you've got Monogram, who's resuming off the first up win over the 1400, albeit at Randwick last winter.
I know, but there's something must have gone wrong, mustn't there? 242 days off.
It only goes first up now, Gord.
So what? You wait 3/4 of a year.
She might have gone off and got pregnant.
Yeah, and you get.
She probably went to the breeding barn. She might be pregnant.
What? O'Shea? I don't see him doing that. I don't see that.
No, probably not.
Mob
Probably
doing
not.
That. Yeah.
But you know, let's throw it in there. What about Steel Frost? You saw him chase home pumpkin pie at Goulburn.
I thought there was only 2 chances in the country championships, and they were Perfect Air and Pumpkin Pie. This has got to be an anchor on Pumpkin Pie, doesn't it?
Oh, you meant a drag?
Yeah.
Well, it goes all right, Steel Frost, I think, but I didn't find it here. So, look, it's an even race, and I think we'll just stick out of it.
Have you mentioned Kelvin's side?
Yeah, I said Kelvin's side has some very good Warwick Farm runs.
Yeah. That's one I might entertain. I won't bet in the race.
Yeah, it's not really your race, is it? Let's go to the nightcap over the mile. And it's $4.20 Positive Problems up the inside there in the good ground at Canterbury last time. $5 Chandana, $6 Sismontane, $6 Stablemate Supply and Demand, $8.50 Righteous Mate, $12 Cannon Run. Now, obviously there's a few that like to go forward here. We've got Sismontane, who's now having his 3rd run at a mile. Positive Problems is probably going to take it up. New Divide goes forward. Lead Choreographer raced handy the other day. Supply and Demand, what are they going to do with him up to the mile? Righteous Mate punches through just to be off the speed here, and that's mostly it. Is this perhaps a good race for Chandana? The right race for Chandana. She's a Warwick Farm winner.
No, and like a horse that people have been spruiking for a long time now.
You might be guilty of that.
Oh, I'm not sure whether I have been, because she's a distance horse, Mark. I don't tend to get too excited.
What are you talking about?
Distance races. She's got to have a great chance in this particular race, doesn't she?
Yeah, good chance.
Like, Invincible Gem form.
Yep.
Is super solid, isn't it?
It's all right, yeah.
Yet again, Collett the Schofield. Now, you've heard me talk a few times tonight about Schofield. Now, the thing is that I'm just saying that he is one of those people that has the ability to change a situation, as in the way a horse runs, because of his balance.
Yep.
So I think it's actually a good booking for him. I actually want Supply and Demand to go forward.
Yeah, but is it actually a miler? I'm not sure.
I don't think it's a miler, but
it's like, what sort of setup is this? 1100, 1200?
No. I mean, I know it ran over 1,500 metres last preparation a couple of times, but
you'd be better off with Sismontane with the Victoire off, because he's a horrible rider.
I backed Supply and Demand first up over 1,100 metres, thinking it was better over 1,100 metres, but I'm not sure how to handle it. I would like to see them try and use that factor I've talked about with the Botton Waterhouse stable, and that is go forward and see if this thing can be brave like some of their horses have been recently. I would love to see that situation happen and maybe get a price about it.
Yeah, but look, even when he got to this distance last preparation, the 15, so he ran at Scone in the Guineas, he went to 1550 at Canterbury's off the speed, and then he's at 1500 at Rose Hill, and he's sort of on the speed, but you know, from gate 12 with A. Hieronymus, you expect him to lead, he still can't lead.
So you're just saying he doesn't have the ability to
lead?
Well,
I don't know, it's a bit weird, you know, for a horse that's got short course form, you'd think he'd have the speed to lead if you wanted to.
With that stable particularly. Anyway, I suggest Gay...
you want to tell Gay?
I'd love to tell Gay what to do. She needs some advice, I think. Tell Josh Parr to whip it out of the barriers. Use up. How many has he got before the 100 metre mark?
Well, I don't know.
Use them up in the first 200. Use them up in the first 200. See what happens. I don't know why it seemed to me that you were poo-pooing Positive Problems.
It was up the inside at Canterbury.
It was complimented, but it's a mare that has been running well this preparation.
All right, I've tipped it on top. I've marked it $4.
And you react so aggressively. Jesus.
Well, them's were fighting words, I say. Look, I don't really like this race. A horse I want to mention is Lead Choreographer, who looks to me like a horse with a bit of scope. Everything else is fairly well exposed. Not to say it can win this race, but it's a horse that interested me mildly when I went through the race. That's race 10.
I love that. Now you should take notice of that, and there's probably a long price at the moment too, isn't it, Mark? So,
yeah, I think it is. Right, now, something to get your teeth into. Plays at Warwick Farm tomorrow.
Plays. So should I go for a trifecta? Blanc?
I want a box first four.
Okay, I have an opinion of race 1, number 7, Al Manzora. If that opinion is correct, it will be winning that race. I actually am sort of I've sort of half talked myself into it over the show, but I do like Rose of Man over the 1,000 metres. I just hope they're trying to win this race. Or am I allowed to say that? Or
Yeah.
yeah. And the other one, I was very keen to play with the 2 horses that I liked in race 8. So I'm definitely going to be backing these 2 horses, which is number 8, race 8, number 8 Coco XL, and number 14 Tire and Miss. I'd say level stake them for a profit.
Okay, race 5, number 7 Drachenfels. That will do us. We'll be back on Friday for a preview of the opening day at Rose Hill. It's Coolmore. It's 2 more slipper lead-ups, lots of other stakes races, and it looks a good program. The weather should be much like this for the rest of the week. We'll catch you then.
See you guys.